We're now joined by constitutional lawyer Casimir Igwe and Arise Director of News and Politics Editor Sambo. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Well, it's another political rumble going on. Let's start with you to first of all situate what exactly is happening before we get to our legal mind here, Sonna.
Yes, it's politics at play, and the governor is right to actually feel bad that while he was away, there was an attempt to actually take over his seat. But of course, this process has to be followed constitutionally as outlined in Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. There are processes for the removal of both a governor and deputy governor, and they go hand in glove together. So in this instance, the accusations have continued with the deputy governor being accused of having purchased a 300 million naira bulletproof SUV while the governor was away, and the allegation is that the money was actually sourced from the 2 billion naira that was given as palliatives by the federal government to states. And the deputy governor has denied that, categorically stating that if you look at his fleet right now, he doesn't have an SUV that's bulletproof other than the Mercedes-Benz that was earlier given to him. And so the governor's team are all out against him, and that he's gone to court using his lawyer, to actually seek his fundamental rights. But generally, there's more politics to this than the legal opinions that are flying around. And for him to have gone to court is also one thing that I don't know if the courts will be able to grant him that right, because there's already a Supreme Court verdict that says that no arm of government can stop another arm of government from performing its job. A court cannot stop the State House of Assembly from impeaching either a governor or state governor. What the deputy governor can ask is for fairness in the process, and those are contained in some of his prayers that he has outlined. But asking the State House of Assembly not to perform his duties, I don't think any court would want to grant that power, because if the court does that, then it would have been stopping the legislature from performing its duties. And of course, the constitutional process is well outlined. It takes like about 21 days all before a panel is set up, and he's also asking that the Chief Justice of the state should not attend to any letter requesting for a panel to be set up, which will then meet for about 3 months. Well, in all of this, we'll ask Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, as a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, to stick to the law, to ensure that whatever is happening is done in such a way that there is no injury to the public interest. And of course, he doesn't allow politics to overshadow the process. But if there are questions to be answered, I mean, the deputy governor should not be afraid, but the process should be fair and be seen to be fair to all.
Right. Casimir Igwe, you are a constitutional lawyer. Give us the legal or the legalese, to all of this. Some analysts actually say, look, between 1999 and 2018, 16 deputy governors have been removed without recourse to the law, to the laid down rules. Let's talk about, that. And the basis of this impeachment, the allegations have been leveled against the deputy governor. Are they going through the correct process in this impeachment drive?
Well, first and foremost, it's a constitutional duty of the House of Assembly to carry out functions of removal of office or from office of either the governor or the deputy governor. So that cannot be taken away from them and cannot be debated upon. Coming to what is playing out in Ondo, I think all they need to do is to follow the constitutional provision, which is clearly outlined. Just like your analyst has said, the State House of Assembly should ensure, not even the governor now, should ensure that the processes, the procedure as outlined in the constitution are well followed. The deputy governor should not be afraid to respond to the notice as served on him. Yes, going to court is his constitutional right. Nobody can take that away from him. But it will not stop the State House of Assembly from carrying out their duties. What can the court look at in such situation is to ensure, as a watchdog, that the procedure as outlined by law are fully complied with, and not to get into the substance of the allegation. There are processes. Once he responds and the assembly finds a substance or finds substance in his response, then that's it. But if they are not satisfied, he goes a step further by asking the chief judge of the state to set up a panel that will look at this. All of this is to ensure fair hearing to the deputy governor as alleged. So at this point, I don't think, for me, I don't think there's any infraction so far, except there are other issues that are not in the public domain. Number two, issue of impeachment, so far as Nigerian democratic experience is concerned, has been 99% political than legal. That's the truth.
There you go.
Well, let me jump in here, because it looks, well, perhaps something that you didn't, we chuckled when you started talking about bulletproof, because looking at some of the reactions from some politicians, they wondered what form of armored vehicle that would cost. But again, let's dig in deep, politically speaking. You've heard the legal man here, the lawyer, Mr. Igwe, speak on that. What can the Assembly now do in the face of what this has drawn up, talking about the Deputy Governor going to the court with his lawyers?
Well, the Assembly would have to go ahead with its constitutional functions. Just make sure that the procedures are well followed. You see that 11 out of the 26 members have already signed that petition. What the constitutional requirement is 1/3 of the entire members for an impeachment notice. But then when the process goes on to 14 days, you will now need 2/3 as to whether to decide if the reply of the deputy governor is not satisfactory to the State House of Assembly. If they choose to now go ahead and investigate him and probe him and go ahead with the impeachment process, what the law requires is 2/3 of the members. So that would mean 2/3 of 26. And then, of course, even when eventually they decide to set up, after the hearing, they are now forwarding the letter to the chief judge of the state to set up a panel. Another 2/3 will be followed. But generally, these are the issues that we have, that when a governor wakes up and he doesn't like his deputy in this country, the impeachment procedures almost in one way or the other favor them. And that's why you would have seen that the Constitution tries to explain gross misconduct. But a lot of things can be contained in gross misconduct. And so most times when the governors want to have a kill, with the deputy governors, it's very difficult for them to escape, because there are so many things that they would have wrote them in. And the major grievance of the governor here is that while he was away for 3 months, the deputy governor was holding court and allegedly sponsoring some negative media statements against him, that he should resign or something like that, which is making the governor to be angry. But there's still a political way that it can be settled.
All right, fantastic. Both of you gentlemen, let's put you on hold. All right, we still have Sambo, our politics editor, and of course, Igwe, constitutional lawyer. Both of you gentlemen, let's get your reaction. Of course, the National Assembly returns from its recess tomorrow, and they have their job cut out for them, including, of course, confirming the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the deputies. Igwe, let's get your thoughts on that and what you expect from the National Assembly tomorrow.
Well, National Assembly will not have any option but to carry out its mandate. It's their constitutional responsibility to screen the central bank governor and the deputy governors. So thank God tomorrow they resume, then they get to work. For me, I'm not expecting anything less than confirmation. That's the truth. Because if you look at the pedigree of the CBN governor that is thrown up, you can't fault that. The only issue I would have had was the issue of procedure, but we've been told that Governor Emefiele had resigned his office. So nature abhors vacuum, law abhors vacuum. Somebody must fill in the space. Whatever happens behind the scene is not our business. Ours is to ensure that Nigeria is running as a country under the rule of law. So National Assembly, especially the Senate, has the opportunity to do a thorough work and make sure that we have or we get the best, irrespective of where the appointees are coming from.
Let me quickly comment here, Kashmir Igwe. In this case, you say since as long as he's in acting capacity, he doesn't necessarily need the endorsement of the National Assembly in acting capacity, pending when he's duly confirmed.
Yes, that's the law. Somebody must step in. That's why it's called acting. So it's after confirmation that he becomes a substantive CBN governor. So that's the law.
All right, Sumner, you have the floor. The National Assembly resumes tomorrow. What are the political dimensions, not just of the confirmation, but all the job that the National Assembly has before it?
Well, let's start with the Cardoso screening and hopeful confirmation. The federal lawmakers will have to be convinced that there's a letter of resignation by Godwin Emefiele, the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, because if there is no accompanying letter which the federal lawmakers will have to see to justify that Godwin Emefiele, who still has a subsisting term, has resigned, then it may actually cause an uproar, especially if the opposition lawmakers from the PDP, the Labour Party, actually raise the issue, because this is a procedural issue. And the same Senate confirmed Godwin Emefiele for a 5-year term. And so if that 5-year term, second term of 5 years has not been exhausted and there's a new nominee before it, then of course there has to be a cogent reason. So I just hope the presidency has, through its National Assembly liaison, tidied up all those things, and for the public to actually see this, because when this letter is made available to the lawmakers, of course, it's being made available to Nigerians. And of course, the president would definitely want to have his way. The APC has the majority in the Senate, and of course, there's not so much that would want to stop it. But a lot of people could become activist senators if they are not shown that. But for Cardoso, there's a lot that actually lies ahead of him. The monetary policies of the country need to really, really be fixed, and the senators would want to question him on, of course, his monetary policies, what's happening to the Naira, and of course, our reserves, what's happening to Nigeria's foreign reserve. Don't forget, Goldman Sachs had actually made some observations recently where they stated that what we actually have in our foreign reserve is different from what we are being told. And of course, the CBN was quiet about it. It didn't really join issues. So how much do we really have? Do we have up to 38 billion US dollars, or is less than that, like we're told by this foreign entity? And of course, President Bola Tinubu's financial prowess will be put to test too. Because politically, he's also being seen to have encircled himself with most people who are from his region, and not just his region, but play politics in Lagos, mostly from the southwest, being encircled within the financial sector of the federal government. So if you have the taxman being from the southwest, you have the CBN governor being from the southwest, you have other people who are manning the financial sector being the southwest, of course, senators will be interested to find out why President Tinubu has not found other Nigerians from other parts of the country worthy of being close to the financial sector. I mean, why is it that other Nigerians cannot qualify to be appointed into strong federal government institutions that have to deal with finances? Why must all they come from the southwest or Lagos? These are questions that senators, especially maybe the opposition senators, would want to ask. And of course, even some of the senators in the ruling party would be interested in finding out the strategic direction that Tinubu seems to be following.
Well, I think at this point, we'd like to thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.